with no name. Lay back in the slow lane. Skies dropping, Jupiter around us like some old train. We'll be rolling down the window.
Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Softball Edition, and my guest for this week's show is none other than senior catcher on the softball team, McKenna Vega. McKenna, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Let's start by getting to know you a little bit better. Your older brother, Kyer Vega, graduated from Menlo in 2014, and he holds the baseball program record for saves in a single career. How much of an influence did he have on your decision to come to Menlo?
My brother had a little bit of influence coming here. I knew that after I graduated from high school that I wanted to continue with softball career, and obviously I wanted to get in the business kind of aspect of things. So after hearing him about his experience here at Menlo, kind of reminiscing on those 4 years, he told me about the culture, the atmosphere, and how well of an education this was, especially for business. And I kind of just re-looked into Menlo, and one thing kind of led into another, and I ended up here.
And staying on the topic of family, you have a twin brother named Keegan, and I don't think you two look anything alike personally, but what was it like growing up with a twin?
We kind of look similar. We're like brother and sister kind of looking, but obviously he's a boy, so we're fraternal. But I kind of actually like having a twin. We share birthdays together. We kind of like having that partner in crime who's experiencing the same things that I'm going through. So it's really nice, when we were younger, we're always in the same class. So if I don't get something, then he gets it, kind of like vice versa. Then we would kind of play off our strengths with that. So it's I actually like it because then with distance wise too, he's in the East Coast and I'm here. So definitely we've grown stronger with distance as brother and sister.
Nice. Now you've latched on as a catcher here at Menlo, and you've put up some impressive numbers in your time, including CalPAC All-Conference honors in 2015. It seems like you save your best stuff for the second half of the season, which is a conference play. How does that happen for you?
Definitely it's a learning process. Throughout my 4 years here, I've definitely tried to take in everything with all my coaches who have saying, and all those reps have really paid off. And I've just been gradually honing in on the skills. One thing kind of leads to another, and next year I those skills kind of just become natural. And like I said, everything kind of falls into place my senior year. This is my last year, so I'm just very excited and eager to go out with a bang. And yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the team now. It was a great weekend for Menlo. You guys won all 3 games that you played in. You're now on a 4-game winning streak overall. What does that do for the team's confidence level?
We're definitely confidence high right now. Softball is a game of mental, and we are a mental team. So coming off those couple wins, our confidence is very high. We just keep things simple and not overreact, and play our game, just have fun. So if we keep this going, then I can see us doing really well in the end of the season.
Yeah, now taking both games against Arizona Christian, a team that beat you last year in the playoffs, that had to have been a huge boost to get you guys back in the playoff race, right?
Yes. I know that they split this weekend, so I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're in 4th place now.
I believe you are. Yes.
So that's great. Like I said earlier, with this confidence, we're going in strong. Just keep that up and keeping things simple and not overreacting, and kind of I have the phrase of pass the bat around and switch places. So that's just keep it one game at a time, and we can get there.
Yeah, sticking with that theme of passing the bat around, it really seemed like the offense was cashing in at the right times over the weekend. It's been a problem as of late. I know Brooke Mendocini last week was talking about getting better at driving in runs that are on base because you guys have been leaving a lot of runners on. So what's the approach of the hitters as of late when you guys have runners on base?
You just gotta, as a hitter, you gotta realize where your outfield is set, where your infield are. And I know that my coach has really been talking about not being selfish. We have the phrase pass the bat around or switch places with each other. Try to get an RBI if you can. Do something that is not selfish, and try to get those runs in, because when we get the runner to advance, we have a better position that we are in. So you just try to do whatever you can. Don't go in thinking I have to do this. Just put the ball in play is very what we have to do.
Yeah, the pitchers did an excellent job of pitching with runners on base on the other side last weekend. As a catcher, how do you calm a pitcher who is on the mound, maybe struggling a little bit?
Honestly, I tell them like something completely off topic. Like I try to get them their mindset from what just happened in the past to the present, and that will lead to the future. I talk about random stuff. I talk about like the weather. I talk about if it could, like umpires talking to me, or like something that happened in the outfield that I saw, or just completely off topic. And I try to like make them like flesh that out, and just focus on the next play. And they actually do very well with that. You just have to, as a catcher, you have to learn their personality wise, and you also like have to make sure everyone else is calm as well as yourself, because you are the leader on the team.
So then what is that like from a catcher standpoint, having to juggle so many different personalities? I know it's a little bit easier in softball because you only have 3, maybe 4 pitchers you have to learn, but in a different sport where maybe you might have 10 different players to worry about, how do you go about juggling 3 or 4 different personalities?
You just kind of keep everything light. Like everyone takes things differently, but you just kind of like group them together. I mean, that is what a leadership is. You have to delegate stuff, and you have to like take in all the personalities. I think like the go-to way is to keep everything light and fun. Just to, like remember like, hey, we're fine. Just get things through this, and try to get one out. Help the pitcher out with where she is at, and just do your best and try to work this out.
6 games in 3 days. That's what the Oaks have this weekend down in Southern California. Will it be nice to get these games in without the threat of rain, having to screw up the schedule like we had this past weekend?
Yes. I mean, I personally hate the rain. I mean, I don't know who likes the rain and playing in it, but it is kind of a blessing that we do have a turf field, so we can go longer in the games. But I know down in SoCal they have like all dirt and grass fields. So this would be definitely a nice game. Not looking, like into the rain and everything like that, but yeah.
Now, Hope International is the Friday series, and before this past weekend, they hadn't lost a game since you guys walked off against them back in the beginning of March. It was a 15-game winning streak for Hope, and the one win you guys had was a Keely Hernandez walk-off home run. How are you going to slow them down?
Like I said earlier, building our confidence. We have coming off those wins, our confidence is very high. We've been trying to focus in on the skills and technique, and trying to be having our mental game strong. We do a lot of visualization as well, and we're just going to come out against Hope with a getting more runs on the board, and going out there like it's 0-0, bottom 7. We have to get a run, kind of just keeping things simple. Again, just enjoying the game that we have, and just taking one step at a time to get to our ultimate goal.
All right, McKenna, let's transition to the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions. Give me your best answer.
Okay.
Question number 1. Do your parents have any great stories about you and Keegan getting mixed up?
No, not really. I mean, people think that because I'm like shorter than him, because he's 6'4", that he's in a higher grade than I am. So it's kind of funny saying like to someone like we are in the same grade. But a lot of people, even to this day, get my brother Kyra and Keegan get mixed up. They think that Kyra is Keegan and Keegan's Kyra. They look identical. It's really creepy. So if my parents think like, oh, say someone like we have twins, they automatically assume that it's my brothers. I'm like, nope, it's me.
Hey, you don't see it as often where they're fraternal. So
yeah,
that makes sense. Question number 2. They say everyone has a doppelganger. Which one of your teammates does not?
Oh man. Well, I love her to death, but I'm going to say Regina. She's just a one-of-a-kind person. She's a ball of fun. She's just energetic, and she has that unique personality that, like, I don't think anyone else has, and it's awesome. It's, like, great. Like, I just want her to be her, so.
Question number 3. Which teammate would be the worst at blocking pitches as a catcher?
I'm gonna have to say Ari. I know that we did this drill where it's called the last man standing, and it's kind of like no matter what position you are, you're in the infield taking ground balls, and my coaches are kind of throwing some ched in the grounds, and her and I were kind of freaking out, but I remember her like kind of being like the top people to get out first, so I'm sorry.
Well, perfect. McKenna, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Fans, don't forget, 6 games, 3 days. That's what Menlo College softball has this weekend. They open up at St. Catherine on March 30th. That's Thursday, and that is after this episode of Unrooted will be released. So hopefully it's 2 wins for Menlo College softball. Friday, the day this gets posted, will be the big one for Menlo. They take on Hope International March 31st. That's a doubleheader. It starts at 1 o'clock. And then San Diego Christian on Saturday, April 1st. That is no April Fool's prank. They are playing. And the doubleheader against the Hawks will be at 4 o'clock p.m. down in Santee. Well, we invite you to tune into next week's show when McKenna Vega will be selecting the next interviewee on Unrooted Softball Edition. I'm Brian Brownfield. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Found a road with no name, lay back in the slow lane. Skies dropping, Jupiter around us like some old train. We'll be rolling down the windows, I bet you will catch a nice second wind.